Okay, this is a 2021 Honda Accord. It's the same thing for 22, the same thing for 20 and 19 and 18. Okay, once you get your kit, this panel here, you're gonna remove it. Okay, just pop it. It's all clips. There's no screws. Unplug this plug here. Okay, see right there? Unplug it. You just have to push down on the tab and then you unplug it. Just throw it aside. You're gonna have your airbag that's gonna be like this. Okay, see, just remove these two, get yourself out of these little ratchets. Okay, remove those two screws with the ratchet right here and right there. Just move it aside. Okay, for the power wire of the kit, which is the red, first of all, you tuck the whole module here. You can leave the shock sensor dangling down for now. This is, I'll show you where it goes in the fuse box in a second. The red wire, first hook up the ground. See right here, you unloosen up this with the same ratchet, 10 millimeter. Unloosen up this bolt, put my ring connector around, that's ground, tighten it. That's all she wrote. You already got one wire done. You got 3 more to go. Strip the wires where you expose copper in this green wire. Okay. And then wrap my wire around, put tape and a tie wrap. The reason why I told you to remove the airbag because it's kind of tight with the airbag and then you don't want to arc it with metal and pop a fuse on the car. So just remove it aside and then just strip it. Do not, by any circumstances, you cut that green wire. Just take a pair of cutters and just pull it like that, strip it. Or you can take a razor blade and just, you know, you make a little cut here, and then cut across and then peel it off. You want to expose a little bit of copper like that. Okay, all around the wire, and then wrap my wire around it, put tape and a tie wrap so it never comes undone. And then you can hook this up. We'll just put it back right now. Okay. Okay, it's got 2 little tabs at the top here. And then we're gonna go ahead and tighten it up with my hand so it doesn't wobble around. Here's the other one that fell off. Put it right here. Then I'm going to use the ratchet to tighten it. Do not unplug the airbag either. And do not do this with the car running. You don't need to listen to music or nothing like that. All right. Yeah, do not unplug it. Just always leave it plugged in. You can just lay it there. This is very quick. It's just a quick wire you need to hook up. So right away you got ground and you got positive. This wire here is going to go in this fuse, which is going to be, now you look at the fuse box, it's going to be this fuse here. So what we'll do is, what you do, you just remove it. And you can keep that fuse as a spare. We're going to give you one with 2 of them. And you're just going to put this as a replacement. And then this fuse will already be here, plus you got one from my alarm. So I'm going to get ready to pull this fuse out. Sometimes it's a little pain in the ass to get it out. Oh, here we go. All right. That's it. Make sure it's pushed in all the way. And that will be that wire, the yellow wire. This wire only supposed to have power when the car is running. When you turn off the car, it loses the power. And what this wire does is it lets my kit know that you're driving. That way it's not working while you're driving. All right, and then the shock sensor will be dangling here, and I'll show you what to do with that in a second. The blue wire, which is the trigger, you're gonna run it. First of all, you remove this plate, this trim here, but just all clips. You're not gonna break anything. Just pop this side kick panel. It's all clips anyway. Out of here, you're gonna see 3 brown wires. The one that you're gonna grab is not the thicker one. Okay. It's not the thickest one. It's not the thinnest one. It's the one that's middle gauge. Okay, so I don't know if you can see all 3 here. Okay, this one's very thin. This is a little thicker, and this one's right in the middle. Okay, so you'll see it's a slight bigger than this one. Okay, and then this one is definitely a lot bigger than both of these. It's the middle gauge one. It's not the little thinnest one. It's not the thicker one. It's the middle gauge one. What you do is you strip it, wrap my wire around it, put tape on a tie wrap. And this wire right here is this door pin switch. But the pin switch is built in a latch. And the older Hondas, like the 2017 and down, the pin switch was right here like this. That's when you open the pin, turns on the interior light on the top. And what we're doing is, the way the kit works is, when it detects impact, it shoots a little pulse of ground to the this brown wire, and it fools the factory alarm into thinking that somebody opened the door in the middle of the night, and that's how we trigger the factory alarm, which is beautiful. We don't have to tie it to any computers. We don't have to do anything. I'm gonna put tape on a tie wrap, and then I'll go over what we're gonna do with the shock sensor. Okay, and the way to test it out is, you can take a screwdriver, close the latch here, which I already did. Okay, you can take a screwdriver and just close the latch here like this, right? And wait until the interior lights shut off inside. They take about 30 seconds. They're gonna dim out. Maybe 15 seconds, they're gonna dim out. Okay, and this will to verify that you got the right wire. You'll see what I'm gonna do now. The light's gonna dim out now. Make sure all the other doors are closed. By closing the latch, it fools the car into thinking that you close the door. See, the light just dimmed out. It took about 20 seconds. So the minute you tap the shock, you're gonna see that it's gonna turn on the light inside the car. See? It just turned it back on. So that way, you know you got the right wire. If you tap on the shock after that light dims out with the latch closed, and it doesn't turn on the interior light, you caught the wrong wire. And then it's just gonna be, obviously it's not gonna be the thicker one. It's gonna be that you didn't pay attention between the real thin one and the middle one. Okay. Once that's done, you can tuck this in. Okay. Put the panel back. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this side panel real quick. Alright. Wait a second. Okay. Okay, you bang it down. This one's popped in. Okay. I did this with one hand, so there's no excuse why you shouldn't do it with two. Okay, as far as the sensor goes, that's why I didn't want it tie wraps to the bracket here, but I wanted to show you something. The one that you're gonna worry about is the one above the green light. The more you turn it this way is more sensitive, this way is less sensitive. You see how it has an arrow? I'm gonna try to zoom in on the camera and see if you can see it. See that little arrow this way? Okay. This way is more and this way is less. Right now it's like if it was a clock, it's about I'll say 11 o'clock, because 12 will be straight up and down. Maybe 10 or 11. So you want to live between 10 and 11. You don't want to go up and down. That's going to be way too sensitive. And 9 o'clock will be not too sensitive. So this is about, we always send them like this. You can always move it a hair or down, depending where you live, if there's a lot of noise around the neighborhood. But these are not turns. If you move with a screwdriver and you move it a hair, it makes a world of difference. You use one of these little puppies here, you know. Okay, you see it's tie wrap in this bracket. If you ever need to adjust it, just pull down on the shock sensor, do your adjustment again, and then just slide up the tie wrap. All right, you slide it up, and that's it. In order to test it out, we'll do it right now. Oh, by the way, don't close the door in the latch. Pull the handle. The latch comes out. Close the door. Let's arm it. When you arm it, you can't beat on the car right away. You got to give it like 10-15 seconds. And then you're able to bang on the tire and it will fire off. Give it a few seconds. Okay, turn it off. You hit unlock and that will turn it off. Okay. Okay, the last thing you need to do, this is not mandatory, but it's one more layer of security, and I do highly recommend it. You can probably do this once you receive this video. In the meantime, while you're waiting for your kit to be delivered, should be 3 days, and if you're in the West Coast, it should be 4. You can do this right away. Take a small little screwdriver, the same one you adjust the shock with or whatever. You pop this panel up, okay? This thing pops out, okay? Once it pops out, I'm going to show you the wire that you need to cut. And I'm going to tell you why. Flip it upside down like this. Okay, you see this red wire right here? Which is next to the purple. Make sure you got this part of the plug right. The part where you press and release the plug. It's going to be this purple wire, this red wire is the one you're going to cut next to the purple. And then you have this gray one here on the side. Don't cut it so close to the plug. Okay, you're gonna cut it towards the back of the harness more to give you more slack. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the wire out with my, sorry about the camera, I'm moving on. I'm trying to do this with one hand and hold the camera with the other. I'm trying to take this little wire, get it out of here a little bit. Okay, this is the wire that you want. See? It's right next to this purple one, and you got the tab here. So you got red, purple, and after the purple you got an empty slot, and then next to the purple you have an empty. You have this gray wire here. So the one you're gonna cut it about to here like this, and I'm gonna explain why. Because in this type of car, all the Hondas, if you turn the key on the cylinder, okay, that shuts off the factory alarm. And that's the reason why, is because in case the remote control doesn't work, you remove the key from here and you stick it in the door, and when you turn it, it turns off the factory alarm. Honda wants you not to bother your neighbors, so it doesn't do you no good, because the first thing the thief will do if they're trying to steal your tires or break your window, they bust out the keyhole, turn it, and they accomplish 2 things. Number 1, it opens the door. Number 2, they shut off the factory alarm. So by you cutting this wire here, that eliminates this. This is the wire that comes from the keyhole. So it comes like this, and it hooks up here. If you cut it here, it doesn't go towards this module here and shuts off the factory alarm. So that's one more layer of security. So therefore, if they ever bust out the keyhole and they open the door, they're in for a big surprise. It did not shut off your factory alarm. It's one more layer of security. The shock sensor will still work regardless if you do this or not. But it gives you that one more layer, because if you got these smart thieves that knows about that, they're going to turn the key in the ignition. See, I already cut the wire. And then to put this, you just push it in. And that's it. This doesn't stop. The cutting that wire doesn't stop any function in the car. And no door locks, no power windows, no nothing. The only thing it stops is from somebody from turning the key and shutting off your factory alarm. And obviously, when you open the door, if your fob ever goes bad, you turn the key, you open the door, it will go off. It's not going to shut it off. But when you get in and you put the key in and you press to start, it will recognize your fob, and it will turn off the factory alarm, and you can start the car and leave. But Honda didn't want you to bother your neighbors in that process, so that's why they made it like that. All right. And then to put this back, you just pop this in, and that's it. I'm going to go ahead and adjust it, make sure it's not too sensitive for the customer. And this concludes the installation. If you guys have any questions in this install, feel free to give me a call at 305-387-4365. That's 305-387-4365. Ask for Tony, the tech, and he'll be able to assist you on the phone if anything. While you're getting your kit in the mail, you can start watching this video over and over. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. So that way, when you get the kit, you have no questions, and it will just be straightforward. And by the way, when you arm the alarm like this, don't start banging on it right away. Gotta wait until that light in the dash does this number. Then it's gonna do like a little pulse like that, and then it's gonna remain the whole night doing this type of pulse. I'll fire it off one more time. By the way, I'll bump this side, because a lot of people say, oh, the shock only works in one side. No, it doesn't. It works all around the car. Give it like another 5 seconds, and I'm gonna bang on this tire. This concludes the installation. Our numbers are 305-387-4365. That's 305-387-4365.